doing? How y'all doing? Yeah, man, I had to make another video. Um, my video today is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be called manifestation. Manifesting what you want, both on your level, on your individual level, and then on top of that, on a world level. So I'm going to start in your own individual life. I feel like the keys to manifesting is number one, having that positive mindset, staying optimistic even when it looks dark, even when it's not going your way, walking by faith, not by sight. I think that's number one, that's key. Right? Embodying that energy. Number two, meditating, frequencying. That's very important. That's really, really, really important. I do that every day or as consistently as I can. Honestly, not 5 times a week, but 6 to 7 times a week. I'm meditating at least 20 minutes a day with frequencies, if not longer. And number three, being in a positive environment, being around positive people who have just as much faith in yourself, in you, that you have in yourself. And I feel like that's important too, because negative people can many times bring your frequency down, bring you down, and basically lead you astray. So it's important to always stay positive, man. It's always, man. Always stay optimistic. Always have good people around you, frequency. And listen to affirmations and write down affirmations and continuously look at them daily so that you stay on top of your goal. And then the final thing is releasing it and surrendering to the universe and surrendering control. Release that shit out. Don't hold on to it, because that's going to block it. Release it out, put it out in the universe, and I guarantee it will come in, you know. And don't get caught up in the time frame when it does come in. And while I'm telling you that, I'm in the midst of all of this myself, but I'm keeping that faith, staying positive, you know, having the archangels around me, the spirit guides, ascended masters, ancestors, Loas, Orishas, gods, deities, energies, frequencies, all of that encompassing everything. So, you know what I'm saying? Also too, you know, tap into tarot, you know, tap into astrology, synchronize with the moon, synchronize with the planets. We're about to enter a Lionsgate portal, 888, which represents abundance. We're in the first 888 in basically this modern era's history. So it's important to channel in, tap into those frequencies, and harness that energy, that power, so you can manifest your highest good and your most positive abundance, whether it be something like winning the lottery or Mega Millions or Powerball or whatever, or manifesting that new job that you always wanted, manifesting that love that you wanted in your family, manifesting that house, that car, that business, getting that business profitable, or manifesting a better world, manifesting more abundance in the society for people, manifesting a world where those at the bottom can live free. Basically, 99% can be able to get provisions, universal income, you know, reparations, anti-black hate crime bill, protection, so that these people who did so much for the world can be protected and there won't be no Tasmanian or Holocaust or genocide campaign against these people. You know, you use it to manifest on all levels. Because I'm not only, you know, I agree with Dr. John Henry Clark's assessment, the essential selfishness of survival. So of course, number one, you can't do anything unless you make sure that yourself is good. But at the same time, always be selfless. At the same time, have that balance. Be selfish and selfless. Have that flow and that balance. Give and receive. So you can't overgive, because then your cup will be drained, but you can't overly just hoard, because then it'll block those blessings. And that's it. Having a lack mindset. So being able to flow is your best bet. So, you know, it's just real, bro. And I'm looking forward to the rest of this year and this time period beyond, because it's that time now. I feel it. I feel the universe on my side right now. It's always been on my side, but I feel more abundance for myself, and I plan on, you know, once those increases come in, I plan on giving back for sure. I plan on creating for myself, my loved ones, my family, my friends, and then expanding that pot to all those who are of that same mindset, you know what I'm saying, of that same energy, who have that same, you know what I'm saying, same flow, but they haven't been given the opportunity. That's the main reason why I talk about politics all the time, because I want to serve, I want to provide and protect the general welfare of the population. You know what I mean? I see these people, you know, and I'm going to transition a little bit, but I see what's going on right now with the political situation, both, you know, in my state with DeSantis, and also nationwide in the political arena with Kamala and Trump. And they're not issuing out a platform that helps the everyday American. Like, if you were, you'd be, number one, the first thing you would do is price controls, so people can afford basic necessities, so they can fucking live and they won't die. That's number one. The second thing you would do is make sure that people have more money in, so they can pass that on to the next generation, and they don't have to start behind the curve. So, number one, universal income, economic bill of rights, a full social safety net, so that if people do go through hardship, they'll have an economic floor, as Martin Luther King and FDR and so many others knew, like, so they won't fall through the cracks and die. And so that brings us to a even more greater point. Why are candidates out here right now that don't express what I'm talking about, or who ain't pushing for reparations for black people, who ain't pushing for the economic bill of rights for everyday Americans, who ain't pushing for Medicare for all, universal income, a living wage, raising the standard of living, like the whole full set economy that FDR was going to enact before he died? Why are you quoting, John? Like I always tell you, Stalin told his son that they killed him. They meaning the ruling class, same ruling class that's been in power up to this same day. So, and he told his son, FDR's son, that they're trying to get him, and in 3 years he was killed in 1950, mysteriously. So, there we go. So the same thing that was going to be enacted then, has yet to be enacted. That's 100 years ago. 1944, 45 was 100 years ago. So almost 100 years ago. In 20 years, that would be 100 years ago. That's 80 years ago. That's a long time. So I digress. So why do we have a situation where both sides of the aisle are not for the people? It's supposed to be of the people, by the people, for the people. You would think so. Well, then when you look at who funds both sides, remember, BlackRock funded Kamala's campaign. Steve Mnuchin, BlackRock, funded Kamala's Senate campaign. She's a Wall Street Democrat through and through. So that's number one on her side of the game. So that's why. And then on Trump's side of the game, he just said it in a speech. Number one, he's always been beholden to the Wall Street, the banking cartels, because they're the ones who have bailed him out 6 times. And right now, he famously just said, hey, Elon gives me $45 million a day, so I have to give money, or I have to do things for people like him. So what does that mean? Okay, the 1% ruling class. So there you go. You got both sides of the aisle working for those at the top of the game, who have not how can we say, not a low level view of those at the lower classes. They have a, how can we say this, decadent view of. I'm trying to find a word that describes somebody who thinks that they're above everything, and looks down on people who they view as peasants or peons. They have a peasant mindset when they view the rest of the population who's under them. They have a snobby, elitist mindset when it comes to those of lower classes. And as they famously said, FDR was a class traitor for trying to make sure that people didn't live in feudal squalor, basically. So that's what you're getting right now. The ruling class hates the whole social safety net. They hate the whole New Deal. They've been attacking the New Deal for the last 100 years, basically. So whether it be Glass-Steagall, they've been attacking FDR's legacy for 100 years. So they've used social engineering, economic warfare, wedge issues, cultural issues to get people to basically slit their own throats by having the racist white people think that, oh yeah, this nigger over here is the cause of is the bane of my whole existence. Meanwhile, the ruling class is ratcheting up the price and everything at such a crazy rate that your hatred, you can't even sustain your hatred because you don't got enough money to live. So there you go. It's an ingenious game. It's been getting played forever. Same thing, you can say the same thing on our side of the game. They throw in a black candidate and he talks real nice, and then when you look at the people who are around his team and the money that he got, one class all the through and through, and they'll slowly. I gotta fly trying to get my. But yeah, well, that's why I'm doing that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you'll have on that side of the game, you'll have a person who will death by a thousand cuts. They'll do stuff like abolish welfare, which was done under Bill Clinton. You'll have somebody who will cut the sequester, which was done under Obama. You'll have somebody like on both sides of the aisle who are heavily against the people, basically, just put it like that, and who are enhancing stuff, who aren't trying to enhance Medicare, make it Medicare for all, like stuff that you would normally see, basically, that would set the tone for what the administration is going to do, which is in the first 100 days. You would see them actively doing Medicare for all, actively passing executive orders to raise the minimum wage, let the population know what they're doing, and then they can then see who's who. Because if you're going so progressive and these others are trying to stop it, they'll be voted out because the people want shit like that. They want their standard of living to rise. They want price controls. They want a social safety net. They want economic rights. Not entitlements, as they call them. Oh, these are entitlements. You see the game of semantics they play to be like, hey, these are entitlements, so these are bad. You feel entitled to these. No, these are economic rights that you are supposed to get, and then beyond some. Back in 44, 45 by FDR, who got 4 terms and probably could have got even more if he kept going and kept having progressives like Henry Wallace on his ticket and shit like that, who actually should have been the next president, but they coup d'etat him, and word to that historical documentary as well, not as he's I forgot, it was by Oliver Stone and Klutznick or whatever, but they kind of break down Henry Wallace stuff, who needs to be highlighted too for his progressiveness and things of that sort. So, but yeah, I just wanted to touch bases on how whack the political spectrum is. Now, is there a difference between both candidates? Yeah, there's a difference. Now, the difference is based upon what you're ready to do. Black people, are you ready to fight for your life? I mean, physically, if you're ready for that, then by all means, Trump is your guy because he'll set up the agenda to have Viper teams, militia groups, re-education camps, all the whole panorama of neo-Nazi orgy, basically, a wet dream, quote unquote, right on your front door, basically. Yeah, they're going to deport 11 million immigrants, quote unquote, but do you think that's going to stop at immigrants, them putting them in concentration camps? If they can get away with that, quote unquote, then they can then take it a step further and go after the real prize, which is us, the black people. That's just what it's been. They're getting the buffers out the way so they can focus all their hatred and envy and evil and devilment and on to double check onto you. Double check. I'll be right back. So they can focus all of their decadence and evil. God damn, these boys killing my ass. Shit. So they can focus all of their devilment and decadence and envy, hatred onto us. And so if we're organized enough to counter it and seize the day and transform a new world through that way, then I'm like, by all means, yes. But I don't even feel like we're organized enough. I don't even think the people who are supposed to be progressive and are supposed to be our media outlets away from the mainstream are even talking like that. They're talking like everything's going to be all hunky-dory no matter who we pick, and it's not. Or no matter who wins. And it's not, or it's going to be the same old, which is not. And at the same time, death by 1,000 cuts, mass immigration, human landfills of immigrants placed in the black community to break down and economically starve them out, and then give said resources to the immigrant population as opposed to black people or both, to create a situation where there's fighting within and then all the blame goes to the black people and then they're pushed out of their communities. So, and that's over a slower process, but now the process is happening so fast and everything's coming to a head where it's now showing itself all in major cities like New York and Chicago, Philly, LA, Atlanta, DC. So basically they want to turn all those black cities into Miami, and that's where to Miami, basically, because Miami's been cold the fuck opted, which was a black area. That was a huge black population. Now, it still is pretty big, but it was even more like concentrated as far as not only resources but power dynamics in those communities. That's why Cassius Clay became Muhammad Ali in Miami. That's not an accident. So, and Miami was once called the Harlem of the South. That's not an accident. And Harlem meaning prosperous black area, basically, where well-to-do black people had well-to-do jobs. They weren't over here shoveling shit and whatever the stupid stereotype they try to do, the Forrest Gump, Bubble Gump trip stereotype, all that dumb shit. No. It was progressive doctors, lawyers, politicians, the highest of the high. And of course you had your entry-level positions, but it was full set. And they were all in one community. And we know what the counter of that was, destruction by physical and economic means, pricing them out, and on top of that, the Highway Act, which was run through all those communities, especially the ones in Miami.